All right. Yeah. Finally, we get to the episode of Play Me Something where we get to talk about Kendrick's new album. I'm excited to talk about this shit. I'm excited. Before we do that, obviously, follow us on Twitter. It's @play_me_something. SMTHN. You feel me? Play Me Something. Follow us. It's worthwhile. We recently did a poll, actually, that we'll talk about in this because it's about Kendrick's album. Because while I'm not going to say whether we mess with it or not, we asked you guys, or a lot of people, whether they heard any Drake influence on the album or not. And about like half of you said no, but the other half seemed to be like yes, or a couple songs, whatever. We'll get into that first. Kendrick dropped a new album. Damn, yo. Damn, son.
Damn. Why'd you have to do that?
Yo, Chris. Yo, Chris.
Hey.
What was your perspective on Kendrick before the album came out? Had you listened to Kendrick before?
I mean, I've listened to Good Kid, Mad City.
Yeah.
I don't know. To be honest, man, I didn't really put a whole lot of thought into Kendrick and what he's trying to say on Good Kid, Mad City. I just really what I do with a lot of these albums I listen to, I just enjoy the music, man. Yeah, right. I just really, I'm not really looking for concepts usually. Like when I want to get into concepts, I usually talk to you guys about that.
Now, did you listen to his second album? Well, To Me Butterfly, not really his second. But...
No. I mean, I've heard songs off it, but I didn't listen from.
It's fine.
Yeah, first then. Yeah.
Going into Damn. Real quick.
Listen to
Nah, not all of it. No.
Positive, negative, mixed. Real quick. Positive, negative, mixed.
It's mixed, dude. Honestly,
mixed?
It's mixed. Yeah.
Detel, positive, negative, mixed. Real quick.
Positive.
Quan, positive, negative, mixed. Real quick.
Mixed.
All right, me, mixed, but ultimately positive. Chris, tell me about Damn. What do you think of Damn?
Damn, man. Honestly, like, okay, if you took Pride and Lust off this album, I probably wouldn't like it nearly as much. Like, I would like it exponentially less. Pride is my shit, dude. I love that song so much. I love the little vocal pitch effect that kind of reverberates throughout the song.
Yeah.
Just, it like, honestly, when I listen to it, I imagine myself just fucking dropping acid and just
Pride
laying
is the one that sounds like slightly trippy, yeah.
Yeah, fucking love that.
And Lust is, let me put the head in.
Yeah, dude, Lust just makes me want to fucking knock up a girl and then fucking start stunting on her. It makes me want to call out. No, that song is just real as shit. I love that shit. It's like,
that's
call
amazing.
out from work, stunt on your baby mama, sip lean, play Madden. It's like, whatever you do, what does he say? Whatever you do, like, put purpose into it. I don't know, but it's a fucking track.
So those two hit you the hardest.
Wildly different than I.
Those two hit you the hardest.
Those two hit me real hard. I mean, I liked Feel. I kind of don't like how Feel starts, but I think it finishes strong.
Okay, but now as a whole, what'd you think of what he accomplished and what he was trying to do? Like for Damn.
Do you even understand?
I really don't know. I don't know what he was trying to do.
I don't mean conceptually. I could give a shit. I really don't. But how did the entire album itself, as a package, what impression did it make on you? You said mixed, right?
Mixed, because the first time I heard it, I started listening to it, I got up to Loyalty, and I don't know, it was weird. It just kind of put me into like a bad vibe, man. I was talking to Detel over here, asking him if like the whole album has like this kind of like downtrodden vibe to it. I don't know. I ended up listening to the rest of it, obviously, and it's not all like that. But
okay. Least favorite tracks?
Least favorite tracks. Yeah, I might get a lot of hate from this, but I mean, I'm not gonna. Duckworth bored me, man.
Duckworth bored you?
That shit bored me, man. I don't know about it. I just don't want to hear a story about your dad, man. Make some music. I think that's
fascinating.
I think that's why I like Lust and Pride so much, man, because it didn't feel like he was trying to just. Like, it just felt like he was just being real, man.
No, see, now, I think for Duckworth, I think part of it is people have such an interest in Kendrick as a person, as an artist, that just this little story about him, his dad, or Top wanted to almost killing his dad or wanted to kill his dad, or robbed the place his dad worked at,
Yeah.
is like this another incredible layer to this person they're fascinated with. You feel me?
Oh, yeah,
but
no,
if you're not as fascinated with him, I totally understand that shit.
Yeah, for me, I'm less fascinated. I'm more just, I would just want to
You
hear
want to hear the quality music.
Yeah, I also got to say, I mean, obviously, Loyalty's great. You know, Riri kills it.
I disagree like shit, but we'll get to that. I don't think she did a bad job, but we'll get to that after.
I think they do.
All right though. So mixed.
All
Mixed,
right. But I would say teetering a little more on the positive side.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
All right, yo.
It's pretty hard to have a negative album that we choose to listen to.
Yeah, for all collectively.
We know we're either gonna be like, oh, it's okay, or we're gonna be like, it's great.
If I know I'm gonna go back
What did you
and
think
listen
of
to
it, then?
songs on it,
I
it's
think
positive.
Mixed?
I think
You mixed?
No, I was positive.
Positive, right?
I was straight positive. I have my complaints.
First
but
impression.
Overall, I've only listened
No,
to it
wait.
4 times.
Before we even do that, my bad. I keep interrupting you, but you're familiar with Kendrick's catalog to a certain extent.
Yep.
What was your perspective on him going into this? Now, did you like "To Butterfly"?
I like to Pimp a Butterfly, but
right.
I understand.
Favorite Kendrick
it's
project?
Not my favorite.
Okay.
It's not my favorite, and it's really long. Fucking
Yes.
complicated. Listen, like I'm just like. Honestly, I feel like this album's actually more complicated in a sense.
You think so?
But just because I know what To Pimp a Butterfly is telling me.
Mm-hmm. Damn seems less explicit about its ideas.
Yeah, it doesn't really have like.
It's not making it as obvious.
Yeah.
But
and I'm still probably like trying to figure out what that is.
now, so your favorite Kendrick album, what? Good Kid, Mad City?
Yeah.
All right. So going into this, are you thinking, is Kendrick gonna be able to top this? Or are you just like, nah, I want to see what he's gonna do? What were you thinking going into this?
What I was thinking going into it is that he needed, especially after To Pimp a Butterfly and The Rise of Future,
He needed some good music.
He needed some like massive change up. I mean, people were leaving his shows when he came on after Future performed. Like they were like, "Oh, I came to see Future, not you." And and people were getting like weirded out by that all over the internet. And I was like, "Dude, what do you expect? You can't play To Pimp a Butterfly
for an audience
to an audience that came to see Future."
Yeah,
exactly.
I came for music,
like,
not story time.
I mean, for a majority, even though it's like I think really good music, but on top that aside, Damn.
Yeah, what do you think?
Damn it's a different album than all of it. We had that whole rumor building up that there was gonna be a second album dropping on Easter, and that really messed me up because when I first heard Damn, I only listened to it once, and I have yet to listen to it from beginning to end in one sitting. I just can't do it. I don't know if it's where I'm at in my life right now, or if the music doesn't hit me like that, or I don't have enough time because I like only listen to music when I'm driving lately.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't make me want to sit there either and listen to it from beginning to end and break it down like Good Kid, Mad City did, or Section 80, or even To Pimp a Butterfly. But we had that rumor coming out that there's a second album, and I believed that.
So it hurt like a motherfucker.
So like when it didn't come out, I felt really empty about Damn. I was like, damn.
Is this it now? Damn, is this it?
Like who did that to me? And so I was,
but
I was really banking that was gonna happen. And it didn't, because it was a really good idea. It just goes to show his fans are way more inventive.
Oh shit!
How'd you feel about the album? Listening to
it,
the music.
I'm still trying to
the music.
decide how I feel. I just like it more than To Pimp a Butterfly.
Oh really? You like it more than To
Pimp
Pimp a Butterfly?
It's more musical in a sense where it's not like, look how skilled I am.
The focus is on quality music. The focus is on making good songs.
Yeah, good songs, whether or not they are. And that's, I don't know if they're all
Is there any
good
songs you didn't like?
Certain songs are just like, I think we're drawn out. Oh, I just spit.
I can understand. Nobody can see you. It doesn't.
Yeah, I just spit though.
I'm glad you told them.
Get it. Certain songs I felt were drawn out a little bit. Or they were just overall way too simple. And like, I put myself constantly in the seat of like, what if nobody knew Kendrick and these songs dropped? Would they be talking about him? And clearly not.
You don't think so?
There's not a single song other than I think Element. If Rihanna wasn't on it, Loyalty would have been and
Yeah, I don't think anyone would really care about
God,
loyalty. If
like,
you're
was really
it.
cool.
You don't
Like, take all
like God?
yeah, I really like God. Take all the other things away, and like, you're really just living off your name.
Wait, you don't think people would talk about Humble? I'm just.
I don't think people talk about Humble at all. I think
Humble would have been, if nobody knew Kendrick, that would have been a song to put him on the map.
I wildly disagree because
disagree
Humble
too.
is the only song on this album that I
Doesn't
skip
fit.
immediately.
Yeah.
I skip it every
time,
single
Yeah.
time.
But I only
I've
say
never
it would've
listened
put him
to
on
it.
the map because of the video.
Okay,
if
yeah.
he dropped that
Okay.
video with Humble.
I think
But,
if he
like,
didn't drop the
hold
hold on,
on.
actually, if he didn't drop the video Humble, I think people would have kind of gave him a little bit of shit for Humble.
Yeah.
I think it would have
Because
been
of the way
more
it sounds.
obvious of a weaker track, like that
I skip it every time.
every time,
And
right?
that's, I mean,
Yeah.
I heard it like 40 times, but I still listen
I've heard it
I still
significantly
listen
less.
to, like, Drake songs.
Yeah,
like,
exactly,
no problem,
right?
Like, and we're
I've
always
heard
gonna
Bounce
compare
Back
the two.
1,000 times.
But, like, it's just wild that, like, this album, if you didn't know who Kendrick was, wouldn't matter.
You think it wouldn't matter?
I don't think it would. I
But
think.
it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, To Pimp a Butterfly, if you didn't know Kendrick, now that would have mattered because it would have been from somebody you didn't know who just did some, like, really serious fucking intensive thesis
Yeah.
statement for college
Yeah.
type shit.
Yeah.
And really ran that. But, Good Kid, Mad City, I think, would have been known if you didn't know Kendrick. Like,
Because Good Kid, Mad City made his identity clear.
Yeah.
But
this
damn, you
one
think-
is like you have to really be invested in who he is to want to
Okay.
take this apart and
And
just,
then
like,
to suss through the details
Yeah.
just to
Yeah, like-
figure out what he's trying to tell
I
you.
just listened to Duckworth today, even knowing what it's about, and finally got it.
Really? I finally got it
was like-
yesterday.
I got it. I went to work this morning, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
I finally got it yesterday. It's
Yeah.
because
I know all the characters.
the
and
other
the
two
stories.
times,
Yeah.
I didn't care. The
But-
other two times I heard, I didn't care. I didn't care.
It's a weird song musically to end this album with.
The album should have ended on God, honestly.
I
Yes.
disagree.
No.
I disagree.
No, that goes.
That's my
with,
opinion.
That goes with the type of person you
Yeah.
are as a listener, though. Like, I think Chris and I come from that more like dramatic type feel.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And it's always like doom metal to us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
dude.
end the song, it's some doomish, like,
Yeah.
like, not MF Doom. I'm talking about like
No,
doom,
yeah.
like drawn out epic battle type shit.
Yeah.
Duckworth really just seemed like after God played, like,
Yeah, I feel you.
well, how do you put Duckworth after the God?
For me,
Like,
I
and it's like, cool, like, wait, did you just, by the way, this is how everything happened. Like, did you just want to show that and then be like, okay, now, bah! And let's rewind the whole album.
Yeah,
And bring it
yeah.
back to
Yep.
the beginning.
I'm
And I was
I'm sure there's some
But, hold on.
some
Like
connection
I
to
said,
context.
I like the album still.
That's
These
positive.
are all my gripes with it. I still listened. I love DNA. Was really happy to see the video. Even made it better. Yeah, didn't really care for it. Element, I listened to for the first time thinking about Drake today, and it
Okay.
made sense. That really
Yeah.
really made sense. Loyalty, I love Rihanna, so I'm just gonna like ride for her
Okay.
anyways. Humble, I skip. I don't know what you two did,
Yeah, I don't know what they did either, but I like that song.
but I like the
I love that song.
I
Actually.
like the
XXX.
way it's put together.
Yeah.
It's different. What's the one song? Is it
Fear
which song?
or feel?
Feel, is that the one where it's yeah?
I
And
feel
because then
like-
he goes up and he like does his typical
Yeah.
like da-da-da-da, and
Yeah.
I was really glad to see because we knew that was gonna come. If you're a listener of Kendrick, he
Yeah.
was about to like go passion on you, but I was glad to see he stopped after like 8 bars and just brought it back.
I
to
think
the
it
main
was.
show.
Was it 8? I thought
I
it was
think
4.
it was 8 bars.
I thought it was 4.
Yeah, you're
It's like
right.
really quick.
Yeah, it was quick.
Yeah, he
It
wasn't
was 4
hyped
bars,
for
it
long.
was
I
4
don't
bars.
remember, but he wasn't hyped for long.
And I was like, thank God.
Yeah.
It's
Alright,
not like
no,
I
okay.
don't like that, but like
I appreciate your
he
perspective.
experimented more on this. It's not his strongest album. but
Okay.
it's a good album.
Well, let me go into two things real quick. Well, first off, we should address the Drake influence on this. Now, we asked if people heard any Drake influence on this album. A lot of people immediately, when they hear even the question, they just buck back at that.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. They just get they might like push back against that the idea that Drake could influence Kendrick.
Yeah.
Now, for us, it's somewhat obvious where their influence lies.
Yep.
Because we know Element. If you listen to Element and listen to 0 to 100, the beat uses similar sounds. That's easy, obvious. But there's also Ya. Now Ya, you might not hear it and think Drake immediately, but if you actually go back and listen to Ya and you hear him saying buzzing, go back and listen to Nothing Was the Same and Drake on Connect, where it's eyes closed just swinging.
Yeah, I mean, I know that Drake.
Yes,
Yeah.
we
So
know.
that's
Yeah, I know. I understand. That's fine. I wouldn't
That's
expect.
actually one of the tracks I think he could have taken out the album too. Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
Ya.
I like Ya.
Now, there's also
It's too long.
there was one. There's also Loyalty. Now, Loyalty, people aren't gonna hear it and think Drake, but
No, it's not too long.
if
It's only
if
2:40.
Loyalty didn't have that, I think, vocoder effect on that vocal sample right then and there that makes it sound funk and I.e. relate to Kendrick, people would hear that shit and think he made a Drake song. Loyalty, people would hear that shit and think he made a Drake song. No lie. Yes.
Probably.
If it wasn't for that effect that's on that vocal sample that makes it sound funk, people would hear that and think it sounds like a Drake
I
song.
didn't even think of funk when I heard it. I think I just, like,
It's just the background. It's just a
an
sample
effect
that
he uses.
yeah, frequently. Moving on from that. Obviously, the album seems to be pretty lauded, as is everything else he's done. It doesn't seem. I don't know if it's as lauded as Tim Butterfly, but it's pretty well liked. I'm positive about it because for me, it's the first time Kendrick's been rapping in like 4 years. To me, like Tim Butterfly wasn't really rapping to me, and the writing was poor. I know a lot of people like disagree with that. I know they consider it like one of the most lauded albums of all time, but I consider it just plain old weak. As far as the actual emotion there, it's pretty much worthless. I think people's value comes from judging it, honestly, and I don't judge music, I listen to it, so that Tim Butterfly is low-key worthless to me. But what's going on, Frankie?
Usual deception and debauchery.
I didn't know it's deception. I'll get to you in a second, Frank. Give me a second. But where was I?
You guys recording?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Where was I on this album?
Did you listen?
Oh,
Did you
yeah.
listen to Damn? You did?
Exactly. But no, we'll get to that. We gotta finish this. We gotta knock this
Hey.
out.
I'm not trying to listen to anything other than new Paramore. That's it.
All right.
So-
all right. Go ahead. Yeah.
Going into this, I was glad that Kendrick's focus was on seemingly the music and actually saying incredible things rather than expressing himself as a
incredible things
genius
he
or
said?
like. No, he didn't say incredible. I'm not saying he said incredible things, but he seems to be more focused on that, like more on great lines. Now he's a far better writer on this than he was on To Pimp a Butterfly to me, because what he says actually sticks out to me. Actually sticks out to me when he says, games we let the A1 fly on Element. That shit like that
says
actually
what?
sticks out to me. Play no games we let the A1 fly, and then
Tell me.
Chip.
For our listeners and me.
No, you know what it means. But he said
No, I really don't.
it's. What do you think?
I
What do you?
An A1's a type of plane or something?
Listen,
I
anyway.
can't
Stop,
hear what
stop.
you're saying.
Let him
What'd you
finish.
say?
He's talking about guns. He's just talking
No,
about guns.
but what do you say? So why?
He's just talking about guns.
So you're gonna be
I
battled on the fact that you think a gun bar is better than something like.
It's not.
Oh, it's not because it's about a gun. See, that's not the issue.
No, but I know that it's a gun bar essentially. Though still, it's still like a gun bar, and you're comparing that to anything on To Pimp a Butterfly, which is
The comparison is that there's either genuine emotion there or a genuine attempt at evoking emotion on Damn. Now, To Pimp a Butterfly was just the execution of a concept. And if you're judging an album through the execution of a concept, then you're gonna think that's one of the greatest albums fucking ever. But I don't. I don't judge albums like that. I try not to judge albums at all. Now, simply through the emotions that it evoked in me, Kendrick's writing is far better because that actually moved me on some level. Even DNA. What he says actually moves me on some level, rather than him just delivering it strongly. You feel me? Delivering it strongly or doing the I'm going off flow. You feel me? So Damn, I fuck with DNA. Yeah, obviously sound like Drake, but I fuck with it. Element obviously sound like another Drake song, but I fuck with it. Loyalty also sound like Drake song, fuck with it. I feel sounds like Kendrick kind of getting these weird, kind of trying to find his legs as a writer. Honestly, I swear to God, just that repetition and what he's actually saying.
That's like
it sounds
standard
amateurish,
old-
honestly.
It sounds like something like mixtape level.
Yeah, it does.
It sounded like
it's like some shit I should be doing, not
songs
him.
that were, like mixtape level things that I thought like you could have saved for like an in between project, but like the
I think that's just
one
where he's
track that I
at.
think doesn't get talked about enough is Fear. Fear.
Yeah.
I didn't like Fear at first, but I very much like it now.
When I first heard it, somebody else, Sloth, broke it down for me a different way. But when I was hearing it, the first verse really addressed something that like doesn't get talked about too much lately, and it has to do with like growing up as a black child. I'm not black, so I can't really relate, but I see it from my perspective, and I also like hear the whole like, you know, pray the gay away or like beat him till he gets it, type shit, and that's what that whole first verse.
That was
really,
I appreciate that verse as well. I appreciate the verse as well.
When I first heard that verse,
you should listen to Ghostface.
Like, I don't hear no fucking
that was in
rappers
Fear.
talking
You should
about
listen
that.
to Ghostface.
Yo, get off
You
this
should
right
listen
now.
to
Yo,
Ghostface.
back
Wait,
to this.
that was in Fear when he's like, "I'll beat
Yes,
your ass."
yes.
That's Fear.
I thought that was.
Fear.
In
I'm
Fear.
talking. I very much I like Fear. I like Fear as well. I like
turned
Pride.
I don't know if you heard this, but Fear is that's him as a 7-year-old, then him as a 17-year-old, and then him
I
right
knew
before
that.
To Pimp a Butterfly came out was a third verse.
Okay, I thought so. Now I this album I would say positive. It's only mixed because it's difficult for me to judge Kendrick as a rapper because I consider him to be a above average rapper, and a potentially great artist, but he's hyped up to the level of God or greatest rapper alive, and that makes it difficult. It makes it difficult for me to actually judge his skill.
Have a whole other thing on that.
I can't even judge. It makes it difficult for me to actually judge his skill because I'm lowering the bar for him because I'm just like, what are these people hearing? I end up lowering the bar. So he says, 7 figures, man, that's thinner than my bitch figure, damn. And I'm like, oh shit. Kendrick actually said a line when like niggas got lines like that all the time. But it's just I'm just glad to hear it from him.
There's a lot more
Now,
bars from him.
I'm positive about the album, but there's a lot of shit I'm mixed or negative about. But Quan,
we're gonna have to use that bar.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to use that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We got enough time.
Yeah, we'll just use our 15.
Yeah.
Yeah. My perspective is very swayed because I've just been thinking a lot about Kendrick in general from mainly from OD, from Overly Dedicated.
Yeah,
and I was like, I feel like Overly Dedicated was one of the last few times he really just made music.
Mm-hmm.
Section 82, but when I thought about all the concept shit, remember I said like he's been doing the concept thing from Section 80, and I almost feel like he did it on Overly Dedicated. I just have to go listen to it again, but he's kind of just been that's his thing, and it's kind of stuck in it, and I don't really see him going anywhere else outside of it.
It bothers you that
it bothers me a lot because he's stuck inside. Like I don't ever see him writing outside of that. You know what I'm saying? Never not having a concept. When I first listened to Damn, I was like, yo, all right, maybe there's the concept's there, but maybe it's small. Maybe he's not trying to execute it too much.
Yes.
And the more I listen to it, especially after I listen to Duckworth a lot, I like the way he tells the story on Duckworth.
Yeah.
Do I care? I don't really care for him flipping it and then what stays on Earth, what happens on Earth stays on Earth, flipping it, rewinding it, having all that shit go back to the intro.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yo, that shit just it made me mad for some reason. it made me so mad because like, yo, this whole time you were trying to execute your concept.
You're bothered by concept.
I'm not
you're bothered by him leaning on these concepts.
Yes.
Now, but here's the thing.
But he is to me like I get that. If that's your thing, that's your thing. Fine.
His concepts are in fact the only area where he could be considered above every other rapper. That's
exactly. But that's because he's the only one really.
Is he? No.
Not above. Not above. Hold on.
It's the only area where he
above.
could be considered. I'm not saying he is. I'm saying he
because
could be considered.
It's the only.
That's another one.
That's another one, but it's the only thing he's doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
he puts
the only thing he's doing
overtly. He put his concepts are overtly thoughtful, as in he does not hide his brushstrokes. He makes it very clear. You understand?
Yeah.
Damn is less clear than Super Butterfly. Super Butterfly was clear as fuck.
Yeah.
You understand? Here's the thing. The concept is really for me. It's a concept is just a package for music, and that's it drives the music, but it is in fact the package and delivery of the actual music and what you're actually saying to me. And I can only take the concept is only a concept. I can only take away what you actually say to me in the music you actually give me, which is why Pimp Butterfly is a weak album to me.
Yeah.
And why Damn is not.
But here's why it's bad. Like not bad, but here's why I have a problem with it too, is that people are always looking for that from him.
Yes.
I do not. It is his fault. I do not want to have to look for that anymore. I want to just sit down and listen.
Battle anybody, just be Kendrick.
I just want to sit down and listen to you.
Yes.
Without having to, not saying that I don't want to have to think about it. Like I listened to Lupe for years, but there's times where I've just listened to Lupe and not thought about
Lupe's got a lot of songs.
Shit he said. Sometimes when I sit down and listen to Kendrick, I'm like, yo, you're doing so much. For what reason? You're doing a lot. Like, I love Element. Don't get me wrong. I love Element, but he does everything possible on Element.
Here's the thing about Damn that I consider to be a positive of Kendrick. Actually, his attention to detail is actually like really crazy, and that was the case with Butterfly too. He has a crazy attention to detail. He has both sonic exactly. Sonically, there's a lot of great stuff going on. A lot of changes, a lot of transitions. A lot of stuff is just being done, and he paid a lot of attention to everything. Yeah. That being said, I'm aware that the praise for him, I know it doesn't necessarily come from. It's not coming from his writing. Yep. I know that for a fact, and it's not coming from simply the quality of his music. Yeah. Now, do you have something else to say, or can I get into that?
Go ahead.
What I just wanted to say that now we made a comparison to Drake. There's two comparisons we actually should make. One to Drake and one to Lupe. Now, one to Drake because it helps explain the love for Kendrick a little bit. Now, Drake was the biggest rapper, and it was like the biggest thing in rap for like 7 years now. Kendrick exists on some level as the antithesis to him. And that's a lot of where his praise comes from. We lived through the Drake era, so people coming up, kids coming up, they lived in the Drake era. And who was the rapper they pick rather than someone who built themselves as the opposite of Drake. Drake raps slow, Kendrick raps fast. Yep. Drake makes it look easy, Kendrick makes it look difficult. He deliberately delivers every rhyme very harshly, deliberately, so you know he rhymed that word.
And Drake is smooth.
Drake steps right over his actual rhymes. Yeah. He steps right over it. Drake makes it look easy. Kendrick makes it look difficult. Drake deceptively simple. Kendrick makes the shit look overtly complex. So the praise for him is partially due also to his identity. More than that. Also, Drake light skin singing ass nigga from Canada. From Canada, and where is Kendrick from other than the hip hop's second city, Compton. Compton. LA, but Compton. Where I mean, he exists as the antithesis to him, and that's a big part of the appreciation for him. Now,
Drake says simple shit with a lot of meaning. Yeah. Kendrick says
complex shit with little meaning. But here's the issue when compared to Lupe, because we're gonna have to revisit Damn at a later point and really compare, because it has a lot in common with Lupe's second album, The Cool. You think so? Cool. I think it has a good amount in common with The Cool. More than Food and Liquor, I'd say The Cool, honestly. But we can get into that at a later date. I think it's just the reaction to this album has just been kind of interesting, because some people are still like greatest rapper alive.
Yeah, and I don't understand.
Gargling balls.
People like, I mean, I argue with them on Facebook all the time. I'm not even arguing for or against Kendrick. I just make a statement and watch people go insane. And you guys out here really like fighting for Kendrick, and then you bring nothing to the table to fight for. You just say something, and then you say something else with no merit or like whatever. Like, quote his lines. If Dre never like helped Kendrick get accepted by like the greats and shit like that, Dre never helped.
Yeah, that's another.
Dre.
See of the shit that you
see now. That's right now. That's another reality. That's another level to his relationship with Drake.
I have friends
as the antithesis. As the antithesis, you actually probably do. Drake is different from the identity that people were told is the rapper, or is the ultimate hip hop artist, or is the great. No, I know Drake is different. He's decidedly different from the identities that people have known to be the greats. Kendrick deliberately aligns himself with hip hop's history and legacy.
Look at his top
and that's
10
a
rappers.
big that is a big part of the comparison. That's a big part of the comparison between the two. That's a big. he connects himself with these legacies. Now the problem is for us is that we're familiar with M, we're familiar with Wayne.
Yep.
I'm familiar with Wayne enough to know that when your flow is like weak, I know it. Like on Humble, I remember Syrup Sandwich. When that shit starts, it bothers the fuck out of me now. When his flow is weak, I hear it. You feel me? I'm familiar enough to Wayne to know that. To know who influenced you.
Though.
It is not.
No, it's not.
It depends on who the person is spitting and how like their mannerisms are.
Wrong.
You can't sit here and pretend like
Wrong.
every rapper's gonna be like drawing out words.
Listen. You can tell.
No, we're not talking about drawing out words at all.
You can tell when a rapper is trying to execute a certain type of flow and failing at it.
Exactly.
It doesn't.
You can tell by the choice of their beat, and you can tell by the delivery as well. Kendrick did not intend on Humble to sound like a weird, awkward little kid. All right. But he does sometimes.
He talks like that all the time.
Yeah, no. His flow is the issue on this.
But
it's not his delivery.
It's his
flow
in a different tone.
It's his flow.
You might be somewhere else with it.
Nope, wrong.
No.
Even if he did the same flow in a different tone, I wouldn't be somewhere else with it because I've listened to enough rap to know the difference. To know the difference between tone, delivery, and flow. I know it very well. I could break down for you the patterns that he falls into and where he fucking misses. But besides that, I'm familiar with Wayne. I know where his weaknesses is his flow. I'm familiar with Lupe, I'm familiar with many writers, so I just know where his weaknesses as a writer. And I just think a lot of people misunderstand writing, and they think it's about, they think writing is on some level about appearing to be deep. I think it's odd. It's about appearing to be deep.
It's not always about that.
And not
People,
it's not about
gotta let go of like he said something really great.
It's not what it's about.
That you gotta look into thousands of pages to understand.
It's simply the transferring of emotion, experience, and perspective through language. You feel me?
So you just want Kendrick to be more real.
I want him to express himself through language well. He's not doing a good job of that. He's fulfilling his own concepts. But we have to go through all that and damn revisited. I think we covered a lot of this fucking album. Jesus goddamn Christ. If you love this album,
ain't nobody praying for me.
Exactly. If you're a big fan of Daddy and Me Now, tweet us about that shit. Tell us that shit. Tell us why that shit is nice. If you don't think it sounds like Drake, tell us why you're lying. But we're gonna do another part to this. All right. Thank you so much for listening, yo. Thank you so much.